people from all over the world, what is your best way to stop your mind from racing at night? Person 1. I use audiobooks as well, but stories I'm really familiar with, so I don't have to pay attention to or get sucked in by the plot. Person 2. I was recently struggling with this as well, and I know this is crazy, but sometimes I have found that if I visualize the action of taking my intrusive or demanding thoughts and locking them in a box, my mind will relax. Someone else I know had recommended a similar technique by leaving those thoughts behind by turning over your pillow. I have no idea why this worked for me, but maybe it's something that could help you too. Person 3. I have had this issue on and off again my whole life, 43 now. Coffee intakes affects it, exercise affects it, but my main life pro tip is to focus on breathing. With each breath, relax your body and try to feel your heartbeat slow. Anytime your mind wanders, think blackness, nothing, black. I see black, slow breathing, and with every exhale, I feel myself relax. Works well for me. It's part of meditation, part physical. Been doing it for 25 years when I need to. Person 4. My mind races when I'm anxious about something. I find it helps to write these worries down before I go to sleep. Then it lets my brain switch off. Person 5. Mindfulness, meditation. The guy I listen to is Jon Kabat-Zinn. He has couple of guided meditations on YouTube. I like the calm in his voice and I am more relaxed and fall asleep faster. Person 6. Sometimes it can help to give your mind permission to race. Plan 15 minutes every day. You can set an alarm if you can't let it race and keep track of time. During the 15 minutes, race away. After that, tell your mind it's done and you need sleep. And as soon as your mind wanders off, it will tell yourself to stop and that there will be another 15 minutes tomorrow. Any thought that comes to your mind will be addressed. Then you may need to repeat saying stop many times in the beginning. Be patient and friendly towards yourself. It takes practice and you will notice you need to stop yourself less and less over time. Go to bed 15 minutes sooner than usual. So you will have time for this and don't need to stress over having to sleep. Person 7. Everyone else probably has a better advice, but I have found that Bill Bryson's book, A Short History of Nearly Everything, is interesting enough to keep my mind from wandering, but boring enough that it won't keep me up. That book has gotten me through some rough times, but I'm pretty sure I couldn't tell you what is in it because I've always fall asleep. Person 8. Lots of good ideas here. It depends on the kind of racing your mind is doing. For me, I have anxious racing and overwhelmed racing. One thing that worked for me for anxious racing, try to notice what things are causing your mind to race. Your brain is trying to protect you from something. Thank you, brain, for doing its job. And do some self-talk. I'm in bed. I'm safe. I can rest for overwhelming racing. I make a list of all the things in my mind. Just writing them out helps me to know that I don't have to try to remember them all on my own. This list is there, I can pick it up in the morning. Then I tell myself that none of those things require my immediate attention. And the best thing I can do is sleep. Hope you can find some rest. Person 9. Recently, I have finding success at tricking my body into thinking it's already asleep. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. So now when I go to sleep, I mimic how I was if it's the middle of the night. I would lay in the bed for a few minutes, then get up and pretend I'm groggy, dragging my feet to the bathroom, heavy-footed, using the walls or tables as support, eyes closed, only squinting to see where I am. Then drag myself back to bed the same way, flopping down as if I had already been asleep forever. Next thing I know, I'm asleep. It's been euphoric. Person 10. The military sleep method. Accomplishments during the day. Effing your girlfriend. Exercising earlier in the day. A bowl of cereal and some weed. Benadryl. Blinking excessively to tire your eyelids. It works. Darkness. No phone or TV. Some lesser responses would be drinking Xanax, not in that order or vice versa. Person 11. I count my breaths, slow in and out. I once heard a statistic that if you stay perfectly still for 7 minutes, you will fall asleep for sure. So try to stay still, focus on slowly counting breaths. I have never reached 400. I always drift off before that. Sometimes my thoughts intrude past the counting. If it's that bad, I tried counting in multiple times of 3 or something different, so my brain keeps focusing. Sometimes I do long division, so that really helps distract my mind. Person 12. Besides preparations like darkening the room, right? Having it well ventilated and good smelling. Things like tea or melatonin can help you relax. When it came to the mind racing, I started by picturing my thoughts in a circular shape from the outside. I let them dim more and more until I can only picture a dark void on which my focus then lies. Takes me barely a few minutes to fall asleep. Person 13. Developing a routine act that works especially for you could be anything from meditation, gently thumping your finger against your belly, listening to relaxing music, listening and focusing on your breathing, maybe even writing a book in your mind, something that doesn't create negative feelings for you and is easy, enjoyable for you to do. Sticking to it like your life depends on it. The first weeks will be tough as you will likely often catch yourself being distracted, but that's completely normal. Catch yourself and return to your chosen act. Eventually, the chosen act should become routine as your brain gets programmed for it through sheer repetition. Person 14. Technique called square breathing to relax the mind and body and focus only on breath, reduce or eliminate caffeine after noon. I still need my morning cafe. We both take magnesium L-threonate. Recommended this to a few people that can't unplug from the day. Cool bedroom, no blue light at least 1 hour before bed. Pink noise for the really stressed times. When all that doesn't work, I let the thoughts run and I write them on the journal. Sometimes it's a way to remember something nagging at me that flied away to think or follow upon later. Person 15. If I can't get to sleep when first getting into bed, I will think about floating through dark space. This will help me to take my mind off stupid things. If I have awakened in the middle of the night and my mind has gotten into some loop of stupid stuff, I will get up and have a few ounces of milk and one Oreo or piece of chocolate. Those things have nothing to do with sleeping, but it decouples my mind from the stupid stuff so I can fall asleep. Person 16. I count my breaths, long, slow, deep breath. Every exhale, I finish the exhale and the count together. Drag everything out long and slow and focus on breathing and counting. I find that it gives my brain something to focus on so it can't wander. But also it's boring enough that focusing on breathing doesn't keep me up itself. I don't often get past 20 if I'm being honest with myself about saying totally focused on my breathing. It can be easy to cheat and count breaths in the background and think of other things if you allow yourself to cheat, but just try and keep bringing your focus back. Person 17. My brain likes to race, so I give it something to focus on. One of my hobbies is building things and rearranging furniture. So I lay it out in my mind. Getting down to the details usually puts me out. My brain likes to super focus. Is there something you can super focus on? Is there something you can super focus on? Like going through the steps of your process you're familiar with, like doing your recipe step by step in your head. Sometimes I plan out my garden or think about how I'm going to step by step tidy in the dining room. Things like that. Guided sleep meditations used to help me as well, but the ads can be distracting.